LeBron King James is a legend on the court. We get it. The four-time championship winner is probably the biggest name in basketball right now, and maybe ever. He is afforded godlike status in Cleveland, and rightly so. But saying he is not the most popular player on the court might be an understatement. Today, we're discussing why LeBron is one of the most hated players on the court, so don't go anywhere. First up, let's take a look at his beginnings. LeBron James was born on December 30th, 1984 in Akron, Ohio, to Gloria Marie James, who was 16 at the time of his birth, and Anthony McClelland. His father has a pretty long criminal record and was not involved in his life, sadly. Early life was tough for LeBron as he and his mother, Gloria, moved around a lot so she could look for work. He has been quoted as saying, "My mother is everything, always has been, always will be." Now that is nice, isn't it? To give the young LeBron some stability, she allowed him to move in with the foster family of Frank Walker, who actually ended up introducing the Akron Hammer to basketball. He began playing organized basketball in the 5th grade and later played amateur athletic union basketball for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars. The team enjoyed success on a local and national level, led by James and his friends Sean Cotton, Drew Joyce III, and Willie McGee. The group called themselves the Fab Four and promised each other that they would attend high school together. The friend group chose to attend St. Vincent St. Mary High School, a private Catholic school with predominantly white students, to the ire of some locals. I mean, who cares where they went to high school as long as they were getting a good education, right? How about his early career then? Stay with us and we will reveal all. LeBron was known all over town during his school years as the next big thing, being named Ohio's Mr. Basketball, a high school player of the year, 3 times, while leading Akron's St. Vincent St. Mary High School to 3 Ohio State championships in his 4 years with the team. He stirred up a national frenzy in his junior year after appearing on the cover of Sports Illustrated, something only usually reserved for the elite, where he was billed by the magazine as the chosen one. James was easily National High School Player of the Year in his senior season and was selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers with the first overall selection of the 2003 NBA Draft. The hype surrounding himself and fellow Laker of today, Carmelo Anthony, bordered on the insane at the time. Additionally, he signed an incredible $90 million scholarship contract with Nike before he ever played a professional basketball game. Imagine that. LeBron never let the pressure get to him, and he led the Cavaliers in scoring, steals, and minutes played over the course of the 2003-2004 season, and was streets ahead in the race for the Rookie of the Year, which he obviously won. James presented a unique challenge for opposing teams. His incredible athleticism and physique would not have looked out of place in the NFL or UFC octagon. Let's talk about why he's hated then. First up, the nickname. Everyone knows you don't give yourself a nickname. That is, except if you're LeBron James. He committed a big no-no before he even stepped on an NBA court by christening himself with a nickname. Nicknames are like secret Santa presents. You don't give yourself one. All right, he was a massive deal, maybe even outside of America too. But come on. Although he was only just out of high school, someone should have told him that he shouldn't be showering himself with self-adulation by coining his own egotistical nickname, and King James proved to be a little too much for most fans, who used it against him straight off the bat. What do you think about the King James moniker? Let us know below. Also, tell us your nicknames if you have any. The origins of nicknames are always for a good laugh, but keep it clean, guys. Next up, we're discussing him kowtowing in China, so stay where you are. In October 2019, Houston GM Daryl Morey shared a picture on his Twitter account stating, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." At the time, the Hong Kong protest movement was in full swing, with regular demonstrations opposing Beijing's increasing influence over the city's affairs. Seems fair enough, right? After all, we're all for human rights. LeBron then spoke out about what Morey had said, commenting he was not really educated on the situation. When Morey sent out that since-deleted tweet showing support for Hong Kong's pro-democracy protests, I mean, what makes LeBron so much more qualified than Morey to have an opinion on the matter? Some commentators believe LeBron is unwilling to say anything negative due to Space Jam 2, the movie in which LeBron stars, potentially being a big hit in Chinese theaters. If LeBron ever spoke out and said something simple like, "I'm in favor of human rights around the world," China could easily pull this movie as well as his product and his ability to make money off of Chinese corporations. James also has ties to China due to his partnership with Nike, which does big business over there. He has traveled to the country more than a dozen times over the years following his signing with Nike in 2003, visiting cities to wave the Nike brand around under the guise of promoting basketball. What do you think of LeBron's relationship with China? China? Let us know below. Next up, his ill-judged Ma Kia Bryant tweet. Not long after a 16-year-old girl was shot by police in James's native Ohio for wildly swinging a knife at another person, LeBron jumped straight onto social media commenting, "You're next, #accountability." Not long after that tweet, he posted a photo of the white officer Nicholas Reardon who pulled the trigger. The thing about this case was, it was quite obviously a clean shooting, as the youth was posing a very real and imminent threat to everyone who was on the scene. The body cam footage shows the young girl swinging a knife around erratically. The officer shouts for everybody to get down, and the youngster charges at another girl, still with the knife in her hand. A gunshot is then heard, and then a few more. It was an incredibly sad situation, but James jumps to the conclusion, which is probably understandable given the whole host of police brutality reports in recent times. But a person in his position with millions of followers really should exercise a little restraint and wait until the full story has come out. Jumping straight on the bandwagon does nothing for race relations, and quite simply is harmful. What did you make of the superstar's tweets about this situation? Comparisons to Michael Jordan get some people's backs up, especially in Chicago. While the comparisons to MJ are obvious, the scoring and championship stats prove otherwise, at least for the time being. And now that LeBron has closed the championship gap from 6-0 to 6-4, it is much more of a debate. Still, a lot of people are not willing to even consider LeBron as an equal to or better than the Chicago Bulls legend, maybe due to the Ohio native's personality and ego. That's not to say Jordan didn't have a humongous ego, he did, but he also showed immense loyalty to the Bulls and longtime coach Phil Jackson, refusing to play for another coach. What a guy! Who is your preference in the LeBron versus Jordan debate? Let us know below. Next, we're discussing the decision, so stay with us. A lot was made of LeBron's decision to move away from the Cavaliers in 2010, and a lot of people thought he was abandoning the team, or that he could handle being the big man in Ohio. Both reasons seem like nonsense to us. However, to turn the move into such a spectacle as he did is the reason he gets so much hate. Even after he went back there, many people thought it spit in the face of the Cavs fans and the NBA fans everywhere that he made a big deal of his decision to move to a different team or to stay with Cleveland. Like, just do whatever you want quietly, right? In the aftermath, many fans burned their LeBron jerseys, and he received boos and jeers in almost every stadium he played in during his maiden year with the Heat, especially in Cleveland. But as we said, he did partially redeem himself by returning to Ohio and ending the team's championship drought in 2016. Well done, LeBron. Last but not least, his propensity to complain. Even though most players, let alone star players, do it, LeBron is always in the spotlight and gets blown out of proportion when he feels like the wrong call was made. It's the classic "here we go again" scenario that most other players don't get, as they will never be in his position. What are your feelings on LeBron, and who is your team in the NBA? Let us know in the comments section down below, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to join us next time. Bye, guys.